Will be a very interesting match for sure. All right, we're into the draft scene. Let's see the bans. Are we expecting? I'm expecting more Darkrai. I'm expecting Umbreon, maybe a Hoopa, some Blissey.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some Miraidon in there as well.
Yeah,
Even Ho-Oh, just maybe not Ho, maybe just the team that's just, hey, we really don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
And then Mimikyu taking away Shutdown, and yet we see the Darkrai.
Yep. So both sides taking very standard bans. We saw the Mimikyu earlier on. Mimikyu's very, very strong right now. That's not a surprising ban in the slightest. And neither is the Darkrai. Darkrai, once again, at a 90% ban ratio across the board in high elo play. It's there for a reason.
And they're getting rid of the Mewtwo Y on the other side.
And the Mew
and
on
the Mew. Interesting.
That is a target ban direct to that Mountain Mew, who is a well-known Mew or not one trick, but a Mew enthusiast, I would like to say. So that's a calculated ban right there. Umbreon is the first pick. Always kind of, very strong pick. It's always seen kind of in that first priority spot, and it makes sense. Is that a Sableye hover?
That is a Sableye I see.
No Sableye this game. We're going to see the Lapras and the Blissey. Lapras being shown a lot today, and it's looking really, really good. And Blissey is just a standard support pick that everyone loves. It's very impressive. We saw what it did versus Go Rack. If that Blissey ult came in a little bit sooner, that game could have gone in someone else's favor 110%. On the other side, we're seeing a Blaziken. Blaziken, very, very strong top laner, probably the strongest game, and Espeon being one of the other strong attackers in this game. Kind of taking away that pick and putting in denial where it's like, go ahead, pick the Ninetales. This is our denial pick. We see the Leafeon. Leafeon's really, really good aggressive counter pick. And then we're also seeing A-Presser hovers. Is that a Duraludon? Decidueye hover. Dragapult would be a crazy pick here.
We're looking at something. We'll find out what.
Miraidon,
yeah. We're looking at a...
That was a little bit of a trick play for sure. I would have been surprised to see a Dragapult there. Is that a Comfey hover?
A Comfey?
Comfey tree? Ooh. Something very, very strong there for sure if that were to come out. But it looks like we're hovering in the Armourouge.
The Armourouge instead.
Armourouge, very, very, very strong pick and very, very bulky. Likes to run at things face first and just be oppressive. Interested to see that comes through or not. Look at that Decidueye build.
That was the Razor Leaf Decidueye. But it looks like we're seeing a Venusaur. This could be Razor Leaf. I actually expect this to be a Razor Leaf Petal Dance. Sorry, Petal Dance Venusaur here, kind of running in there. I mean, they could do double beam, but
the double poke would be very, very strong here for sure. Double beam. But I'm not 100% sure what would happen.
Yeah, Venusaur's got that versatility, so you'll be able to kind of do either or. Also, depending on, you can kind of do builds to match either way. So even in this draft phase, will they see what items you might be putting on?
Something I'm going to point out is that Armourouge is carrying the potion. Armourouge likes to carry a couple different items. It likes to run the eject, it likes to run the X speed. The potion on the sorry, excuse me, my heart's being lost here. On the Armourouge is a very, very oppressive item if you're going to use a bulky Armourouge that's going to control the game space. So they're going to be looking to use this Armourouge to kind of take control of what this game is going to look like. I'm very curious to see where this goes. This is going to be very, very jungle-dependent game. Both sides look very, very strong.
It's really interesting to see the Lapras as the full tank. Like, we've kind of seen it as a secondary tank, kind of up in the all-rounder category, but it's kind of coming back and bringing that. I mean, Bubble Beam is some really strong Hiccup CC, as well as the Ice Beam if you get the freezes off, and then also just being able to take a teammate around. If you could take around the Miraidon, have a little turret on your back, it'd be fun to see. So I'd love to see if we have some fun little... I always love seeing the Lapras turret ultimate chasing around. So we
crazy here. That is Espeon Jungle. I wonder if they're doing the split blue to give Espeon 4 and send it tops. Yeah, they are doing the split.
It looks like we are. Yeah, we're having that split there.
And it looks like Venusaur is doing the split in the bottom side as well. So very, very, strong lanes from the side of Micro and Cheese. Like, they're way stronger lanes, but their scaling falls off way, way harder. I'm going to be curious to see where this kind of goes.
So Blue's going to have to kind of play this bottom lane in the fact of, like, okay, we want to lose as little as possible. We just want to, we're probably not going to win this lane, but hey, if we can just stop this bleeding, stem this bleeding, kind of keep up as best we can, so we can scale hard and not get pushed back hard enough.
That is Venusaur that ended up taking full jungle roto and is going to be higher level than the Espeon who's coming up for this top play. We have standard lanes going into the first Bs. This is going to be a huge fight for Micro and Cheese.
This is still a little Torchic in there too. It's not going to be able to evolve until the Bs start. So it's starting this fight a little bit behind. Here it goes in. Although that Leafeon's just going to be able to back up for free. It was probably its only chance of getting something of value there. But I mean, hey, blue team did get a lot of those Bs, so it's a pretty good trade in their favor. We do have the Armor Rouge up now.
Yeah, especially now that the Armor Rouge got kind of let loose on the bottom side. One of their weaker pieces from the early game. Oh, Leafeon diving in. But yeah, one of the weaker pieces from the early game kind of not there anymore. And that's going to be a trade. Oh my goodness. Down goes the Espeon for a 1-0. Lots of action happening in this game. Very explosive start.
Lots of little one-off brawls here. The Lapras is kind of going up to see maybe a pseudo invade. Maybe just getting some of that middle pressure, waiting for those Bs. Not sure if he knows that the Armor Rouge is there or not, but hey, he still has the space up there. And Orange is going to burst this down immediately. Say, we want this. And they're going to rip through it.
That is a level 7 Miraidon.
That is a level 7 Miraidon.
Bot lane looking on both sides looking incredibly high level. That jungle seceding that was happening earlier definitely put them in positions where they're going to be controlling this bot side. I wonder which side is going to end up playing towards top, because both sides can't play towards this objective, and this early fight is going to determine who takes that.
Almost being poking out that Armor Rouge there. They almost got the Lapras there though. That Armor Rouge is really chunking out that tank down there.
Given the scores on the top pad, it looks like orange side is going to take bottom Reggie, where top side is going to go over to the blue side, being Vendetta.
They might actually choose to sort of walk this towards the second one, or even just kind of pressure, go for the bottom tower. But they actually, no, it looks like we're giving up that top. We're going everything bottom. We want everyone down bottom. Try to catch this Leafeon going in. Oh, they should take this. This Espeon. Yep. Uses the flash to secure that kill.
But overall,
Orange is still just ripping this.
Micro and Cheese,
they're going to secure it.
To just get control of the pit and take the fight, but they're getting swung on by the Blaziken. Blaziken's in.
They do take out the Lapras. They are eating some of these beams, but I mean, that's actually, those beams are doing a whole lot of damage. They're scaring them off for sure. And that's going to go down that tree right there.
The beams from the Venusaur going absolutely wild during that fight, and the Miraidon ults as well. Both putting targets just so low that they can't stay and get any value off of that push.
I like these double beams into this pretty tanky comp overall. You have the Espeon's the quote-unquote squishy part of it. You have the Blaziken and the Armor Rouge, which are kind of beefy enough to walk in, and the two tanks in there. I'd like the double beams to really just sit back, especially the Miraidon beam, who's able to kind of walk itself back. For
sure, and not only that, Leafeon finally saying, screw you, revenge time, and taking the Espeon straight down with that ult.
It's been an Eevee fight for most of this game of the two junglers just scrapping in the middle.
But there goes Blissey getting caught out. This is going to be the pick. Yep, Blissey goes down. Which side of the map are they going to look to push for? It looks like there's going to be a bottom crash coming in from Vendetta.
We do have our beams walking down. Try to keep this bubbles on there as well, just to stop the dives. I like the pre-placement of some of the bubble beam, just to, in case they try to walk in towards the Miraidon, bubbles are there.
Bubbles are there. Leafeon getting the score on the top side. Game's starting to even up quite a bit, and this next fight at this bot side objective is going to determine where this is going in the endgame.
We have blue taken. Actually, they're starting to back up their positioning. It's a little bit too early to start holding too forward, and Trees just try to grab some space near as the countdown goes down. But he's taken a good amount of poke from these thunderbolts and the beams.
Blaziken makes it in, but gets spotted by the Leafeon. Leafeon has eyes on every single player and is going to be looking for a backline dive here for sure.
Goes up, ult's in there, but it gets obliterated by the other team. Umbreon walking forward too. Oh, they do get the Espeon with the beam. But now blue is just pushing them back. This fight.
But here's the thing, they're still staying in range of the poke. The damage is going down. Even though they're taking control of pit, the damage is there. And
Blaziken Orange has just said, okay, we'll walk back. That's fine. Huge lineup of the beam. Two of them are going to go down right there. Now this Leafeon is back up. It's actually kind of getting obliterated. Oh my gosh.
And the secure goes
Leafeon.
over to Vendetta.
Really
Trade
nice
Super
secure
3
from
on
that
live
Espeon.
here,
And kind of a hectic fight here. I mean, the beams kind of walked them down, but they just keep taking the few picks on the Leafeon, at least dwindling numbers by a bit, and then they kind of keep just walking forward. They have to take these beams here and there, but I mean they're still a pretty tanky comp, so they could take a couple beams here and there.
They can take all these beams that keep getting thrown at them, and they can keep taking them. They're going to keep control of this game. Once again, taking that secure is big, and this Lecky's going to go over to them as well.
Good control of both objectives from blue team.
I'm
Now letting the
the
Lecky
back.
watch for. Are they going to start walking that back a little bit? They're kind of walking through the jungle, seeing if they can grab some stuff, see if they want to take a fight potentially.
The Lecky goes in. Not that that's going to be something they're going to probably look to push on here, but Leafeon goes in as well.
Leafeon goes in, is going to grab that Armor Rouge. And it gets out. Does it go look for another pick there? Oh, but the Venusaur's going with it. Okay, the Leafeon getting a nice little dive there on that Armor Rouge. Kind of saying, okay, you know what? You guys aren't really going to get a whole lot of pressure from these objectives from this Reggie. Whatever, it's 20 points. Let's get this kill here.
Not only that, the Leafeon just being like, I get to ult here one more time. I'm going to shotgun.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I get to. I'm going to.
Down. Nothing you can do to stop me.
You want to ult? You want to ult? Blaziken looks forward. The Umbreon did go with, so they're just going to be able to walk out.
Yeah. Once again, map control is very, very chaotic. There's lots of very broken, like scrappy fights. This game is very, very close, despite the score not indicating otherwise. Level lead going over to Micro and Cheese. Score lead going over to Vendetta. This is anyone's game based off this fight.
There is possibly enough time to get that bottom Reggie before the Ray shows up, but it doesn't look like anyone's prioritizing it. They just want that space. They want to hold some control. Orange is really starting to push them back. They do have a good amount of control, kind of push back with the beams and with the
on the wrap.
This could be huge. A big ultimate, and they're going to take out that Blaziken. Really good pick. The Leafeon's still looking pretty healthy, too. It uses ult. That's a fair place to use its ult. And now they're just going to kind of walk forward. Lapras is searching.
With the Leafeon.
With the Leafeon. Are they looking for a back cap? They're going from behind, and the immediate crash. The Espeon does use a really clutch ultimate there, but they're still going to walk this fight up there. Pushing him really far back.
Venu's out of position. There's no ult to save you this time, Venu.
Oh, but they don't need it. But they don't need it. They just keep beaming. And the Lapras gets the back cap. Well, no one was really paying attention. The Espeon didn't get there in time. And the lead goes in favor of Micro and Cheese now.
But I don't think they know they're in the lead.
It's going to say close game. I think it's been saying close game this whole time. Maybe we're in the lead on purple, and who knows? They don't know. They
don't know, and I'm pretty sure it looks like Vendetta might know because they're taking pit position. They want to start this.
I think if you're Vendetta here, you just have to assume that point was enough to get you behind, and you need to make a play happen. You don't want to take a chance here. You don't want to just guess at these numbers. I mean, it's 11 point right now. Just get something in.
Leafeon's looking for a backline flank.
They're going for a rip here.
Leafeon misses the Woodhammer. They're in.
Venusaur drops all of it, but
jeez.
Leafeon gets it. Do they have enough? Yeah, they have plenty of time. They're getting so many scores in. Espeon's gonna go drop something, but I mean, who cares at this point?
Secure versus Blaziken as well is such a very hard thing to do, and I'm surprised they get it off. They take the game one with such a decisive fashion. Looking at that endgame fight, there's just not a whole lot of response coming up from Vendetta. They were put in a position where they were really, really pinned.
There was a good amount of flip in that race secure. I'll tell you that much. The Venusaur dropped its ult and beam, but it was still a little bit before the Blaziken was trying to get it secure off, but it was actually the Leafeon, and I believe it was its Razor Leaf that ended up getting the secure off at the end. Kind of just a flip. It was just a big old flip there. It was just somebody get it.
Micro and Cheese says we win those, and they take
we win those
going into game 2.
Really good turnaround at the last 3 minutes from Micro and Cheese, I would say.
Draft.
And here we get started. Let's see what we have for bans. Coming from
Micro and Cheese getting bottom side again. Vendetta being like, no, we want blue side. We want that first pick. And they're taking
and they're going to get rid of the Mimikyu again.
That Mimikyu is gone. That Mimikyu is not seeing the light of day. It's probably one of the best all-rounders right now for good reason, and it's going.
We might see that target ban of the Mew again.
Taking the Mew
I mean,
away.
that is another kind of poker, so they could just say, hey, let's, we're going to keep a lot of the poke options on our side and just take away this comfort. The Darkrai ban.
Darkrai ban. That's basically us saying we don't have a Darkrai. Hopefully you guys do. So otherwise you'd be looking to first pick that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Blissey goes away on the other side.
And the
That's
Blissey.
an interesting call. They're like, we're not getting Blissey first here, so we're not taking it at all.
So it looks like the Armarouge first pick might be again, potentially the Umbreon.
Umbreon is very, very strong early pick. And once again, it's a very, very safe staple to pick. It's flexible. It's a good support. It's a good tank. It has healing. Oh, but that's a pick.
The Cerulege instead. They okay. I kind of like this decision of if you guys want to go for the poke again, here's something that can jump back there.
Yep. And the response is immediately the Umbreon, like, well, you're gonna try this.
They said okay. They said okay. Give me that, and they go for the Wigglytuff.
So I'm curious to see that will be Wiggly support or Wiggly tank in the lane setup. Because that will change the dichotomy of the lanes quite a bit. The Miraidon goes over. They're like, nope, no double poke this time. That was a problem. No more.
Yeah, they didn't like that. They say, hey, there's something good to grab for our team. Let's grab it. Looking, a couple different options here. Looks like a Hoopa potentially.
The Hoopa hover here is incredible, to be completely honest, and the take is even better. I like it a lot with what they've got paired so far. It's a very non-committal pick here for sure. It doesn't mean they have to go dive. It doesn't mean they have to go anything else. And it leaves the tank and jungler top laner pick open for the other player.
Mm-hmm.
Dodrio Gardevoir hovers. That's a combo.
That's okay. I would see the Glaceon instead, but we do see the Dodrio. We do see the Dodrio.
Dodrio Glaceon, they're more opting out of that poke. Now they didn't get the Miraidon. They're like, hey, we're not doing that again. We're switching up what we're doing, and we're going for this more kind of team fight-esque trade style fighting. See how it goes.
Mm-hmm. We're getting that Leafeon again on the side of Vendetta and looking like a Mamoswine as their tank.
Oh,
possibly. Oh, we go with the Slowbro instead.
And this is
I like the Slowbro. Pick. The Dragapult.
Oh my goodness, Micro and Cheese throwing it all on the line, saying, "Look, we've got a tank, we've got a support. We're now going to throw this at you. We're going to throw a lot of damage, and good luck trying to get out of this one."
I like that Slowbro pick as soon as they see the Dodrio. Say, okay, we don't want this Dodrio getting on our Miraidon on the Leafeon too. If it just runs, or even just if they can catch now that they can catch the Dragapult. I mean, that thing's going to be hard to grab while it's sneaking around. You kind of have to focus that on the Dodrio. Yeah. Now this Cerulege has got the Cerulege and the Leafeon have a pretty big job ahead of them to try to get onto that Dragapult. Make sure it doesn't start blowing up too quickly. But I mean, don't sleep on this Glaceon either, though. This thing's still gonna rock some damage onto you.
Not only that, we're looking at Dodrio. Dodrio is very, very strong into other speedsters, and it's incredible into the Miraidon. So I'm curious to see kind of where this is going to go. This also could be a really good drill pick, Dodrio angle for sure, which could be something else we see here.
Drill pick could be really good at keeping the team out of the Hoopa portals too. Just grabbing them all out and say, pull them up, pull them through. And nope, you're not going anywhere.
Yep, nope. This is for us. And we're going to keep this space, and we're not going to let you poke.
Gimme.
We'll see what happens as we go into Game 2 of semifinals of the Weakness League, sponsored by Ingage and EKSA.
Let us get into it now. Just by the player to character picks, it looks like we're seeing the Umbreon is going to be support. This is in the hands of Mike, who was on the Vital Mike, who was on the Blissey last game.
Yeah. Once again, Umbreon.
Yeah, but then we have the Dodrio up top.
Makes a lot of sense here. There's a split jungle happening with Dragapult. That is an interesting call. But you notice they leave the top two bunnies up there. That's so that Dragapult can clear the rest of its jungle and still get 5 for the gank. Really smart decision making over there. And this Dragapult's going to be looking for that top gank with 5. Dodrio in lane, not the strongest lane partner, is going to get traded on very, very heavily here.
And it just barely walks away with just 1 HP, but it's going to take both the berries there. And that means the Eevee's going down, and this is just going to be blue grabbing this. It's just like, okay, this Dodrio is going to try to grab what it can, at least pick up some of the stacks, but...
Oh, and that's really, really bad for Micro and Cheeses early. This is going to be a tough position for them playing for top Bs. They are sending Glaceon up, which is going to be very, very helpful for the position, but it's also going to give Miraidon its free levels to sit here. It's already at 5. That could be a problem.
This is a tricky situation. You kind of have to pick a lane to commit to right now. And they commit to top is just okay. We'll have to give up a little bit of priority to that Miraidon. We need some more things to happen top. We need this Dodrio to B5. We need this Dragapult to kind of catch up.
And it looks like they all went out, like every single beat went over to the side of Vendetta there. This is insane early game control from Vendetta.
Catching the Umbreon again there too. They're just nobody's out there. They have vision on this duo, who's really just not threatening them at any point right now. So those two in top lane are kind of just going to walk up, get their scores.
And the Secure goes over to Vendetta. Dodrio's level locked, going into the first Bs.
This Dodrio is so sad. He wants that extra head. He's please.
That's
please,
a flame charge through ledge, by the way.
It is. He just wants to run. He just wants to get in there. He just wants to run people down. Okay.
Over to Dodrio. He's out. He's free.
He gets out. He looks to go back in. Why was he looking to go back in? The Hoopa just says, "What are you doing?" Takes him out.
I'm guessing that was the drill peck angle, but that was very aggressive for sure.
It was a little greedy. A little greedy, aggressive there.
Umbreon almost forced people off that pad. That was really good. From what I've seen, I believe this build, so he's looking to gather those stacks. Yep. He's going to be looking to gather those stacks, and that's kind of going to be the choke point for this team. If Dragapult can pick up these mid-game kills, it's incredible, but if it doesn't, it's not nearly as strong as the other options. Over the top side,
you see them just chunking out this Umbreon and this. Man, these two, this Ceruledge Legend, this Hoopa have just been bullying this top lane up here. And I mean, meanwhile, the Miraidon's level 8 down there. He's getting so much farm. He had all the time with like Glaceon left, and he's looking really beefy. But I mean, hey, the Dragapult did hit level 9 first, so they do have a little bit of a level spike going back in the favor.
Very close duel there in the jungle, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, but the Secure went over to Leafeon, giving it the level advantage over Dodrio and giving it the committal confirm. Vendetta taking control of the Reggie. They're trading Reggies. Scores are pretty even. Levels are actually fairly even across the board as well. It's not looking nearly as one-sided as it did about a minute ago.
It's not. This Reggie could be huge, getting a decent amount of points in top. And another kill. That Dragapult does stay alive, so that's more stacks with Dragapult.
Dragon Dance Dragapult doesn't get the stacks, unfortunately, but it still gets other things going for it. So that
it's Dragon Dance. Ooh.
Yeah, not the stealth build, which means it's a little bit more safe and has more teamfight damage overall. But in trade, doesn't have as much of its own self-security and self-autonomy. It needs to play around the team a bit more. So definitely teamfight-oriented right now. Dodrio picking up that pick, though, on Miraidon, giving that EXP swing, that is massive.
And it looks like he might be able to get that leaf. Yeah, no, he just kind of jumps out. And at this point, this Dodrio is cruising. He's going to be able to walk out just fine. He's going to just try to be in there and pester and annoy. Look to steal some buffs. And he's still looking for some stacks, some little poke-offs. The Umbreon has come with him to help get him out. And a bunch of them do show up top. But this Dodrio's out of there.
Dodrio's out of there. Doesn't want to stay. But the rest of the team commits to the fight.
Dragapult goes in.
He's caught. That's going to be the kill on Dragapult.
That's a huge kill on that Dragapult. That Dragapult kind of just went with the Umbreon. I don't know if there's maybe an overextension from the Dragapult the Umbreon wasn't ready for, or just, I don't know what that was there, but that was a really big pickoff. Dodrio's trying to go crazy. Is he going to pick up this? It is going crazy. It barely doesn't catch that Hoopa as it goes out.
Still a very, very good cleanup for the Dodrio. That's a lot of EXP going that way. And even though it looks like it's evening out,
that Dodrio has rescaled itself back into this game. It's one of the biggest things on the board now. Along with this Dragapult, who's looking really, they're gonna rip this so fast. They have such fast rip on this team with the Dragapult, the Glaceon, and also that Tri-Attack Dodrio is gonna help with that rip.
Yeah,
and they're gonna just rush down these objectives.
In the favor of Micro and Cheese. Micro and Cheese looking incredibly dominant right now.
Yeah, I mean that triple KO from that Dodrio, and once that Dodrio really just came online, was starting to run around and harass, was one of the biggest moments because that thing was level locked at first. It was not looking good, but it's okay. I'll get there. There's still plenty of time, and I'm gonna run in there and take this. Oh, it actually
Gets caught.
Leafeon takes it out instead. This Leafeon saying, "What? I'm the. You think you got the good matchup against speedsters? What if I just beat you?
What if I just win this one? That's my match.
Nah, I'd win.
Nah, I'd win exactly. But Dragon Ball goes for
Dragon Ball's going in. He's diving on him.
Oh,
he is obliterating these two. Okay.
3-man KO on that pad. He's gonna get the score off, and he's gonna get the rotate out too.
And that's gonna be level 14, I believe. Yeah, this is a pretty fed looking Dragon Ball right now.
This Dragon Ball
really high numbers on the side of Micro and Cheese, as they've got 212s, they have 14, and really the only thing right now is that Leafeon, which just got eaten alive again by a bird.
The bird actually gonna live this play at this point. It's out.
Uses the ult to live. I love the quick little ult. The Umbreon goes in to keep him alive too, and the Umbreon's just gonna walk away. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, Umbreon's like, I don't want.
This is a wish, Umbreon. Foul play. He's gonna push you away. He's gonna walk. Oh, maybe the Snorlax just jumping in. Never mind, he's not able to walk as free as we thought. But there is still plenty of time for him to come back. Although Blue might look to go for some priority on this bottom Reggie here.
110%. This is looking like they're going to do a pad trade again, but this is WinCon up top side. I don't know if you guys can be doing this, Vendetta. That's not a good trade.
That's not a good trade. They're just going to... You guys have to send someone back now. They have to understand they're not here. Where are they? Where can they be? They're going to be top. You guys have to be there. They're not sending the Hoopa up fast enough. This is going to be a...
We're just going to rip on spawn and we're going to take the win that way. But the problem is that the clear from Micro and Cheese is just so fast.
It is so fast. They have so much rip, and this thing's just going to start walking down.
Slow-mo got him free. No one spotted it yet.
But the rest of his team's not really there to do anything with it. He's able to distract enough if Cyrillich decides to stay. But this is a fight going on orange team. The Leafeon does actually get the Dodrio. That's huge, but I mean, the Hoopa ult could be big here. They just keep going down. It's just the Miraidon now.
Miraidon lives.
Miraidon lives, but they still can get the few scores off on the base. Oh, that's a lot of points. And the Glaceon's going to drop that 50 down there, too.
This is looking more and more over. They're going to need a 4-man wipe here to pull anything off.
They need that Ray. Luckily, the Umbreon is down right now, and some people are looking a little bit chipped out.
Miraidon being not waiting for the team. There it is. There's the pick.
There's the pick right into that Miraidon. Oh, that's not what they needed. And this Dodrio's going to start taking more names.
Oh, such a small little patience thing because you're running out of time, ends up throwing you the game. There's nothing you can do anymore.
Oh, Dodrio's going to pressure the score. He's going to get a few of those off while the Slowbro's going to try to hold it, and they're just going to rip. You say, okay.
We're Paul Glaceon. Nothing you can do about that.
Rayquaza.
And Slowbro's like, oh, this is over. We're done. Vendetta on the loser's side. Micro and Cheese coming out strong.
Micro and Cheese's endgame plays have just been so clean.
Yeah, Micro and Cheese looking absolutely incredible. Taking control of this game. Getting our first almost 1,000-point game of the stream without the surrender. That's incredible. Just well played by Micro and Cheese.
Really well played. I mean, that Dodrio turned it around really quickly, and that was probably the big swing that they needed, because that thing was level locked at 4. Like, the first B's almost going into the 7-minute mark, and it just quickly turned around and said, it's okay, I'll get there. And then it started running through that team. The Leafeon tried to fight it sometimes, and it did fight it sometimes, but then that Dragapult was still just running through. If they weren't dealing with the Dodrio, they were dealing with the Dragapult. And if they weren't dealing with either of them, they were probably losing an objective to the super fast rip, and that's just how that game went. They just couldn't really keep up the pace.
Once again, that Dragapult pick came out of nowhere. We saw the game one hover. We all thought it was, not a real pick. There it is, right there, and it's just running the team. 3v1 on a pad against Leafeon, Slowbro, and Miraidon, and kills all 3. What an insane play.
Safe to say that I slept. I slept on that Dragapult.
I think we all slept on that Drek Bolt, and he showed that it's here to play. All right, that will be it for us for the next little bit here. We're going into our next round of play. Well, we will be back for winners finals very shortly here. Once again, thank you for being here, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll be back as soon as we can.